Welcome into Underground Railroad News. I am your boy, Khalid Cecil, and today I call shenanigans on unnecessary beef. What led me to this place that I'm at right now where I'm making this particular audio stream is because of the situations that were going on with Kwame Brown, Steven Jackson, and Becky with the good hair. Now, the situation goes down like this. Kwame Brown was an NBA player who was drafted with the #1 overall pick in 2001. All right. Kwame Brown came into the league straight out of high school. There have been a lot of great NBA players to come to the league straight out of high school. And there have also been a lot of #1 picks that have gone bust. But for some reason, a lot of people in the NBA and in other places have a tendency to always bring up Kwame Brown when they talk about busts. Now, the thing about this is there are so many busts in the world of the NBA and so many #1 overall pick busts that you could take your pick. I mean, as far as busts go, Kwame Brown, I wouldn't really consider his career a bust. Maybe he may not have reached the lofty expectations of a #1 overall pick, but for a kid to come straight out of high school, he played 12 years in the NBA, made somewhere in the neighborhood of $60 million, and was able to put his mother in a house on a golf course, which you would know if you've been listening to Kwame Brown recently. And he got into it because there's a podcast out there called All the Smoke. It's a podcast with, like I said before, Steven Jackson and Becky with the good hair, Matt Barnes. And these guys were on there and they were just straight clowning Kwame Brown for no particular reason. His name came up for no reason and they started going in on him. Now, Kwame Brown is a guy, people have been talking about him like this for a long time. And Kwame Brown has been quiet. He's never been a talker, never been one to open his mouth and talk out of school. I've never heard him defend himself. It seems like whatever he's been doing with his life, he's been doing well. And he confirmed that recently when he came out with videos going back at these guys, when he essentially told these guys, look, at 19 years old, I was able to put my mom in a house on a golf course. I have acreage. I have land. I have my own tractor. I work my own land. You know what I'm saying? He was bringing up facts. Like the average black man makes between $40,000 and $50,000 a year. He's eclipsed that. And the point he was making about all of this was a lot of these talking heads on TV, especially black talking heads on TV, have a tendency to try to break down black men. They always want to attack black men. It's like if you're a black man and you achieve a certain level of fame and you don't have a certain ideology or a certain viewpoint, they feel as though they have open right to come after you. You know what I'm saying? Eddie Griffin once said, if you're a black man, when you reach a certain level, you're never going to make it out this game clean. And for the most part, he's right. All of our icons, especially if they think differently. And this is not a political thing at all. What it is if you think differently and you don't want to go with the grain. You want to go against the grain. They did it to Dave Chappelle. They did it to Michael Jackson. They did it to Bill Cosby. They did it to R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? And regardless of what these people did, the point I'm making is that Hollywood is dirty. All right? Harvey Weinstein was out here destroying women for years and nobody said anything about him, and he's still walking free. Yet you're talking about Bill Cosby in the 70s, what he did, and you're bringing it up now as if, people in the 70s weren't having fun. The 70s was all about decadence. It was all about drug use. You know what I'm saying? People would go out all night, do coke, and then when they couldn't sleep, they'd take some Quaaludes to go to sleep. Okay? You mean to tell me that somehow Bill Cosby was the only one doing this, or somehow all of these women now want to come up and go after him? Then you have the Michael Jackson situation. Michael Jackson had been out here for years doing what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? A kind-hearted man who was trying to take these kids in. And if you go into the records, you can look into it for yourself. These are my opinions. The conclusions that I've come to after taking a step back and looking at these situations. Okay? And what it appears to me is that Michael Jackson was a kind-hearted person who was trying to bring people in. All of these cases that you heard about these kids getting settled, all of these kids later on down the line wind up telling the truth, saying that none of this happened. All right? So when we sit up here and we try to destroy our own people, and that's what we're doing, we're trying to destroy our own people, we need to stop that. We need to take a step back and look at the people who are actually achieving something and build them up. You know what I'm saying? These NBA players, While they sitting up here clowning Kwame Brown, they need to be looking at him and saying, wow, this dude retired in 2012-13, and he's sitting up here with acres, money. He still got a lavish bank account. Yet, even though one of my favorite players of all time, Allen Iverson, was not wise with his money, but we still put him on a pedestal. You know what I'm saying? And I love me some Allen Iverson, but he was not a wise businessman. You know, he surrounded himself with the wrong people. Yes, you got this brother Kwame Brown, who apparently has his head on straight, has smart people around him, and have taught him how to be a man, to the point where now he's had to step up and say, listen, it's been long enough. Y'all been talking about me long enough. I'm going to defend myself. And that's the situation that we need to get to. We need to take a step back and stop letting all these beta males run the conversation. It's time for alphas to stand up respectfully and let these cats know that we do not play these games, okay? Because they're coming for you. If you're an alpha male, you're confident, you're independent, your swagger is legitimate, and you're taking care of business, and you don't think in their little box, oh, they're coming for you. You have to agree with everything they say. You could agree with 99 out of 100 things. They will not mess with you. So that's the situation where we are at. So in all of this nonsense, we need to turn it toward the people that deserve the beef and the nonsense. We need to trend it toward the people that are trying to drag us down. And if it's our black people, we need to pull them aside and say, look, I understand what you're saying, but until you go with these other people the same way you go with me, you need to chill out with that. All right? We're here to build each other up, not break each other down. And that's all I got to say about that. Until the next time, catch me on Twitter at Cecil Khalid. I'm about to go underground and work on my master plan.